To the Bone, the podcast that goes deeper. Here we cut through the noise and get straight to the core of the issues that matter. From real stories to raw truths, we dive deep into the conversations that shape our world and challenge our thinking. We're not afraid to dig in and get to the marrow of it all. Whether it's life, culture, or business in sports medicine, we're here to break it down raw and real. No filters, no fluff, just to the bone. With your host, Shelby Daly, we're getting to the bone. Let's get started.
Welcome to my capstone, To the Bone, Influencing the Profession of Athletic Training. My name's Shelby Daly, and this is presented as partial fulfillment of the requirements for the Doctor of Athletic Training degree at Florida International University. This was presented on December 3rd, 2025. A problem I have identified is a lack of critical engagement with Domain 5, specifically professional responsibility, limits growth and contributes to professional disengagement in athletic training. The literature shows that many athletic trainers face persistent professional challenges in maintaining long-term career sustainability. Lamore Kavanaugh has identified that age demographics for athletic training nutrition is between ages 28 to 40. Leslie Oglesby's work further highlights the factors driving this trend. On an individual level, work-life conflict remains a major concern, while organizational issues such as low salaries, long hours, and institutional bureaucracy add to the strain. With growing barriers to professional retention, we also see a decline in key competencies across athletic training. One of the most notable areas is Domain 5. In the 2015 Practice Analysis 7th edition, Domain 5 represents 13% of professional competencies. By the 2024 8th edition, that number dropped to just 8%. While the change seems small, the impact is significant. Domain 5 includes the skills that drive career resilience, professional identity, and leadership, the foundation for long-term engagement in our profession. Because it influences every other domain, a weak understanding of these principles can limit effectiveness across all areas of practice. Research by Jessica Edler shows that athletic trainers often overestimate their continuing education competence, revealing a major blind spot in self-awareness and professional growth. A solution that I have identified is establish an authentic and accessible platform that influences change by fostering open dialogue in leadership, entrepreneurship, and globalization to strengthen professional responsibility and growth among athletic trainers. The literature highlights that public dialogue around our professional challenges is essential. As noted by Peter Weingart and Samuel Kakungulu, creating accessible spaces for open, authentic conversations help bridge the gap between professional identity and public understanding. Research shows that this kind of dialogue not only strengthens engagement, but also supports the dissemination of research and professional education. Platforms that can promote public dialogue are podcasts and social media platforms. Eliza Shearer and Colleen McLean note that these platforms attract younger audiences who already use these spaces daily for news and information. McLean's research further reveals that most social media users and podcast listeners are between 20 and 30 years old, the same group facing the highest rates of burnout and attrition in athletic training. After starting the FIU program in spring 2024, the scholarship course sparked a deeper reflection on data collection and analysis, particularly regarding the newly released NATA Salary Survey of 2023. On a whim, I shared my observations on LinkedIn, noting how the survey's data could be misleading. The post quickly became trending, reaching over 35,000 impressions. This experience inspired my capstone project, platform for open, authentic conversations to address complex topics and challenge misconceptions within the profession. I had observed other athletic trainers that had tried to ask these same questions, but it came off as aggressive and closed-minded. After posting on a few different topics, I quickly found that 3,000 characters, including references, was not enough to explore these topics in depth. I realized that I needed a better platform to talk about these complex layers and help educate athletic trainers on how the profession truly functions, since I had many questions myself. I found podcasting as the perfect platform to dive deeper and show the interconnection of the different topics around Domain 5. I established the podcast To the Bone in August 2024. I registered as an LLC due to not wanting this to be an expensive hobby and to generate revenue. Along those lines, I became a continuing education content creator for multiple platforms. I developed my social media presence and created a website to house my blog postings. In the fall, I was enrolled in the entrepreneurship class where I learned new innovative strategies to market my platform. I partnered with other shows as a co-host and guest for crossover episodes on different podcasts. I became a social media affiliate for multiple organizations within the athletic training profession. One of my original goals was to interview active members from all 4 organizations within the Strategic Alliance of Athletic Training. I soon learned that some groups have strict restrictions on discussing current initiatives. Even so, I was able to partner with one organization on a long-term project focused on educating the profession about their ongoing work, creating new opportunities for collaboration and open dialogue within athletic training. Through my platform and messaging, I was nominated by Brian Hortz on the BOC Task Force for the Practice Analysis Panel for the 9th edition. I was elected by the force, where I was able to advocate for an update to Domain 5 competencies in Omaha, Nebraska at the BOC headquarters. The profession needs interconnected platforms that drive improvement and transformation by tackling complex conversations and asking the hard questions, really getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. This isn't about more policies or committees. It's about creating organic, authentic dialogue that provides professional insights and sparks innovation. By connecting with thought leaders, we can help refocus the profession, renewing communication, connection, and the professional identity within the community. This approach also addresses a critical gap in continuing education, particularly in the underdeveloped foundations of Domain 5 professional responsibility. Strengthening the skills that sustain long-term engagement. This platform strengthens the underdeveloped foundations of Domain 5 by bridging education and practice and fosters long-term learning habits. Through relatable conversations, storytelling, and reflection, it makes learning engaging and meaningful. It also removes traditional continuing education barriers like time, cost, and geographic location. This is portable, personal, and continuous. Athletic trainers can participate while eating, exercising, or between patient cases, making professional growth fit easily into their daily lives. Some examples of tasks I've accomplished with my platform. My website for To The Bone, which hosts the blog, podcast, and sponsorship affiliate codes. To The Bone is a continuing education content creator for Clinically Pressed and Healthy Roster. And I'm a social media affiliate with the BOC and WFAT. I've also created business affiliates and advertisers with sports medicine companies such as Hue Tape, Rapid Reboot, Fringe, and Soursoap. To measure growth of the platform, I'll go over some of the performance analytics from November 17th, 2025. This data was organically generated with no paid advertisements for promotion of the platform. So for LinkedIn, over the last 365 days, I've had over 1,800 followers. My reach has been over 72,000 members, and the average impression per post is between 2,000 to 20,000. On Instagram, over the last 90 days, I have over 2,400 followers and over 90,000 views. My podcast analytics for all time, I have 59 episodes, for 450 followers, and over 10,000 listens. With the streams and downloads from Spotify, I was able to pull a graph showing the podcast gradual momentum since August 2024 when the show first started. In the graph, there's a gap that was experienced in the summer of 2025 when I took a break from actively pushing and creating show content. It shows a need for continuous promotion or publication to sustain growth. Another analytic I was able to capture was a graph that shows the age demographics for podcast listeners. The age ranges align with the literature of athletic training population at high risk of attrition. Between 18 and 22 years old, there's a 1.9% listener rate. 23 to 27 years old, 24.3%. 28 to 34-year-olds, 31.8%. 35 to 44, 23.5%. And 45 plus, I have 18.5% listeners. In August 2024, I hosted a podcast focus group to better understand what listeners felt were the biggest issues in the athletic training profession today. The main themes that emerged were a lack of leadership, limited knowledge around economics and pay structures, uncertainty about how to negotiate higher salaries with little experience, and a perceived lack of professionalism among recent graduates. Participants agreed that these topics are critical for long-term sustainability of our profession and connect directly to the need for more Domain 5 content for our professional practice. To explore this further, I began categorizing episode content around the FIU DAT concentration areas that aligned with Domain 5. I categorized episodes that aligned with leadership, the act of influencing, globalization, expanding and interconnection, and entrepreneur and innovation, creating, develop, and managing to make a profit. Leadership made up 36% of the episode content, entrepreneurship was 32%, and globalization was another 32%. While I didn't plan for equal distribution across topics, listener engagement has been consistent across all three major themes. Globalization, 3,232 listens with 33%, leadership with 3,472 listens and 36%, and entrepreneurship and innovation with 3,022 listens, making up 31% of episodes consumed by listeners. This balance suggests that there is no single theme that is lacking or preferred. The show provides a well-rounded demand from listeners. My top 4 podcast episodes provide an example of the well-rounded balance of top-performing episodes and listener content interests. These episode themes cover topics around compensation, burnout, international athletic training, and innovative ways to teach CPR. Currently, the platform is net positive, generating revenue around $15,000, with annual expenses around $3,300. Expenses include business operations such as LLC fees, professional memberships, and bank fees, equipment and production infrastructure such as recording and editing platforms. I've had to diversify my offerings into other avenues of content creation such as social media management and educational essays or blogs for different sports medicine companies. All revenue has been organically generated with no paid advertisements or promotions of the platform. As I look ahead, my goal is to continually grow to the bone by expanding both my audience and listener base. That means staying intentional about networking, connecting with professionals to keep learning and sharing new perspectives. I also want to pursue more professional speaking opportunities utilizing those platforms to elevate conversations about leadership, innovation, and professional responsibility in our field. Another focus is refining how I communicate, clarifying my voice, sharpening my message, and incorporating more research-informed data. I plan to use listener feedback tools to better understand audience impressions and what topics resonate most. Finally, sustainability is key. I'm working on streamlining production while developing new revenue sources to help fund and expand this project. Each of these steps will help To the Bone grow more impactful within the athletic training community. Key insights and advice. I found that you are able to create an organic following without having to pay for it. Informal conversations often lead to more meaningful and candid exchanges than structured or traditional communication methods pushed by professional associations. Podcasting is not free as advertised. While it may appear accessible, it requires a significant amount of time, effort, and financial investment to produce quality content. Podcasting can be profitable, but you may need to get creative in different revenue sources. Generating revenue remains a persistent challenge in the Wild West of podcasting and media platforms, particularly within niche professional fields and capturing specific analytics for advertisers. Sustainability of production and content creation is a major consideration as consistent output depends on balancing creative, technical, and financial resources. I'll put my references in the show notes, and I wanted to do a quick acknowledgement to my co-host Randy Daly, my emotional support Mary Daly and Jadilson De Silva Vieira, FIU recruiter and alumnus Derek Lawrence, FIU cohort 12 partner in crime Grace Savage, and content inspiration, Jeff Conan and Matt Coots, and all current and future guests. Thank you for listening to my capstone.
That's it for today's episode of To the Bone. I hope we've sparked some new thoughts, challenged your perspectives, or simply reminded you to dig a little deeper. Remember, life isn't just about what's on the surface. Sometimes you've got to cut deeper and get to the bone of what really matters. To the Bone podcast is a product of Daly LLC. It is hosted and produced by Shelby Daly, ATC, and Randy Daly. No clinical decision-making should be based solely on one source. While care is taken to ensure accuracy, factual errors can be present. For more on the show, visit www.tothebonepodcast.com. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Get involved in the conversation. You can find us at www.tothebonepodcast.com. Drop us topic suggestions or be a potential guest. We're all about connecting with you, our listeners. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep cutting deep.